Welcome to 5 Minutes for Good, a place for leading voices to share initiatives that go beyond the commercial. In this second series, we're focusing on travel in Asia. We'll hear the flip side and discover what the travel industry is doing for good in that region. Following a short intro, guests will be given their 5 minutes for good, firing up the engines, inspiring action, and making us think that was 5 minutes well spent.
5
minutes for good.
Welcome, Ruby James, to your 5 minutes for good. Thank you for joining the second series of this podcast, where this time we're focusing on travel in Asia. But Ruby, before we begin and we get your 5 minutes for good, tell those who don't know you a little about yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. So my name is Ruby. I'm the marketing manager for the Korea Tourism Organisation London office. I've been working at the KTO for 5 years now, but I've always had a passion for all things South Korea for much longer than that.
Wonderful. Well, Ruby, this is your moment where I say, Ruby James, this is your 5 minutes for good. Over to you.
Thank you. I'd like to talk about our Go West campaign to promote destinations in Southwest Korea. It's quite an exciting time for Korea at the moment. We're one of the fastest growing tourism destinations thanks to a growing interest in Korean culture, from K-pop and Korean dramas to food, film, and more. And we want to make sure that tourists are experiencing everything the country has to offer, and in particular making use of Korea's brilliant high-speed train network to explore outside of the capital, Seoul. So we launched this campaign in early 2025 to promote lesser-known destinations in the Southwest. So that would be Jeonju, Gwangju, Suncheon, Yeosu. And just to kind of summarize, this region is known for its amazing cuisine. It's the home of kimchi and bibimbap, which listeners might have tried. It's got a very interesting history, lots of cultural attractions, and I think in many ways represents a sort of quieter, slower pace of life, full of, bamboo forests, green tea fields, charming seaside towns, and peaceful mountain temples. So I think it's, in my opinion, a perfect contrast to the fast pace and the bright lights of Seoul. So in terms of the campaign itself, we launched this with a travel industry event at the Tate Modern in London earlier this year. We also sent 3 fantastic content creators from the UK to Korea to explore this region. And we've just wrapped up an online consumer campaign, including a competition to win a trip to the Southwest with our partner, Wendy Wu Tours. And we also, next month, we have a BAM trip coming up for UK tour operators to inspire product development. And hopefully more to come in 2026. So watch this space. I think it may seem a little bit early for the UK market, but as mentioned, we can see Korea's popularity as a tourism destination growing quite quickly. So we hope that by highlighting a variety of destinations across the country early on, we can help keep this tourism spread out and sustainable for many years to come.
That's fantastic. I mean, obviously, you and I have a working relationship in terms of launching campaigns for Korea. But in terms of that sustainability message, how vocal is that to your audience within the UK market?
Yeah, it's increasingly something that we're concerned with. I think for a long time, it was mostly about Korea being a lesser known destination in the UK, really just boosting that awareness, getting everybody out to Seoul to experience the highlights. And like I say, now we're seeing Korea grow quite quickly. So far this year, we're seeing a 15% increase on tourists from the UK to Korea compared to the same period last year. Yeah, we want to make sure that we're keeping that tourism sustainable in many ways. And one of the key things for us is, like I say, spreading it out across the country, highlighting different destinations.
For solo travelers, that's a growing market. Have you noticed that yourselves?
Yes, definitely. And I think Korea has a good reputation as being particularly safe and very easy to navigate for solo travelers. I mentioned briefly the transport network, very easy to get around Korea. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of solo travelers, definitely.
Yeah. Do you know that the solo traveler thing is something that we've noticed across Asia it's quite a big thing. And I think that safety aspect is really important. Can we just, do you mind if we talk about that a little bit more? Because what I'm interested in is the personality of a culture and a country. And you talk about the safety and obviously the good-natured personality of the good people of Korea. What are the dynamics of Korean culture that make it so approachable and so safe for the solo traveler?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, it's tricky to sort of delve into Korean history and culture and explain why it might be safer than other countries. In just in terms of my personal experience, I've traveled quite a lot in Korea as a young woman, and that's one of our fastest growing demographics, I think, because the people that tend to be really interested in K-pop and Korean dramas are young women, maybe traveling to Korea for the first time, to experience and really immerse themselves in that culture. And I have just always found people in Korea extremely friendly, very welcoming, always willing to help out, especially outside Seoul, I think, because there is, a smaller number of international tourists. And so people are just, I think, always quite, in Korea, very, very proud of their country and their culture and keen that tourists will have the best possible experience.
And tell me, the K scene, shall I say, because it extends beyond K-pop. I mean, we know that that's a huge draw. Do you find that in itself is almost like a genre of traveller to Korea? They want to go purely for that?
Absolutely. I mean, you're right to say that the majority of people interested in Korean culture are not just interested in K-pop, but they watch the Korean dramas, the Korean foods, Korean literature and film is all very popular as well. And so it's a huge draw for people to visit Korea. Maybe they'll want to sort of see a K-pop concert, but also experience the traditional culture that they have seen on screen and, go shopping for the Korean beauty products and try the authentic food, and have that really immersive, really hands-on experience in Korea.
And if you were to say to me one thing to do if I went to Korea, whether it be food or music or sights or whatever that might be, if you had one thing that you could do if you were in Korea now, what would that be?
I think, Korea has these amazing, fast-paced, exciting cities. It can be quite overwhelming, I think, as a tourist visiting somewhere like Seoul for the first time. I would always recommend spending a day or two outside of the city in the mountains. Korea is about 70% mountainous, which not a lot of people know. Hiking is a national pastime. And to go one step further, even staying for the night in a Buddhist temple to experience really that peace and quiet, the meditation, and just try something completely new to rejuvenate maybe at the end of a busy itinerary.
Amazing. Tell me, when you stay in a Buddhist temple, who looks after you?
Yeah, we have temple stay programs all across Korea, temples that open their door to tourists or anyone who wants to experience the lifestyle. And the monks and the nuns in the temple take very good care of you.
Amazing. That's incredible. I'd love to do that. Well, Ruby, thank you. That was wonderful. Well, it goes without saying, really, that I think I should probably just go and book a ticket now and go and spend more time in Korea. That would be lovely. So thank you so much. But before we go, it's time to drop your guard and go a little bit off-piste. If there was one thing you could do for 5 minutes that isn't necessarily for good, what might that be?
Yeah, good question. I've been thinking about it. We're coming up to Kimjang season, which in Korea is when families and communities come together in the autumn around early November to make enough kimchi to last through the winter. It's listed now as a UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage, and there's even an annual festival, a kimchi festival in Gwangju around this time in southwest Korea. Kimchi is actually quite easy to make if you have the right ingredients to hand. It might take a little bit longer than 5 minutes, but I just think it's a really nice communal tradition, and it would be great if we could all take some time out of our busy routines. Obviously, it gets very busy in the travel industry in autumn, to make some tasty, nutritious kimchi to carry us through the colder months. I think that's what I'd like to do.
That's fabulous. I'd love to make kimchi. I have tried, but I did a very good job. But I'm fascinated by the ritual of making kimchi. That's what it is, because it is a very communal thing, a very family-orientated thing. So that was amazing. Thank you so much, Ruby. That's wonderful. Which only leads me to say, Ruby James, thank you. That was 5 minutes well spent.
That was fine.
That was 5 minutes well spent.